because we're going to accomplish so many great things, not just for our Hmong community, but for the entire U.S., the entire world to look at. And so just the small pieces in my world as a state senator, there's a priority for me this year among the great work I'm going to be looking forward to doing with all of you. The small things that I'm going to be doing over at the Capitol is I'm really going to focus on housing. Housing, economic development, jobs, healthcare, making that affordable, doing some healthcare reforms, some social services, and for me, it's youth mental health. Last year I pushed a couple of bills on youth mental health. This year I'm going to continue to push on it because our young people deserve us to pay attention, or we're going to lose a whole generation of young people. And they are the leaders for tomorrow. So these are the things I'm going to be working on as a priority for me at the State Senate. But the bigger picture of that, again, is that I look forward to the work we're going to do together as a community. The vision we have for the next 10, 20, 50 years for our community. And not just here in Minnesota, but worldwide. Just so that everybody knows what committees I'm on this new year at the State Capitol, I am the Vice Chair of the Capital Investment Committee. I am on the Housing Committee, the Jobs and Economic Development Committee, Transportation Committee, and I'm on many of our Senate groups and Senate caucuses. I won't name them up, there's quite a few. But we're very involved at especially big Hmong elected officials, we're very involved in all the areas that we can be, in all these different subcommittees and groups, because we know that oftentimes we're the only minority voice at that table. So we have to be at the table, because if we're not, our voice is never going to get elevated, never going to be heard. So that's why it's so important for us to get involved in everything. I'm going to end it there and just say thank you to every single one of you for the work that you have done to get us to this point. 50 years of Hmong people here, elected officials like us that can do this. I didn't get here by myself. I have the privilege of being a senator because 50 years, thousands of Hmong people slowly build those bricks so that someday we could climb those stairs and get to the top. And I am also going to lay those bricks for others. So thank you.
Or good evening. Ulumbe Moyenza, Gumbe Mika Sophia, Guyungo Mongvu, Ututsi Mulau, Bilinda Kutia Judge Sophia, Bulau. So, we'll be Piane Ija Danung Yabilija, Utili Motsaki, Pushia Lawa Itusan, Zetsi, Laya, Itu Judge. It's best illustrated in a story why I was inspired to become a judge. Tokunya High School, Uga Martin Luther King. He inspired me. No wara kukushia hatia. Wow, ya they turn off. Mikadu. No shiloh. Jumongi Kelly. The Shilly Toshia. Kuda Jada. The Toshia. Don't go my. Osan. They changed the laws. They instituted Civil Rights Act of 1964. And that is how they gained racial equality. I was inspired by that in high school when I learned about the Civil Rights Movement. Mukanda College. What did I see? Guparaji. This is what I saw. Gupa Haitia. Nyate Tamika. Togumuka College. The Yeshua Itsetupa Jutuplau. Gupa Haitia. Nunjan Shaibe Mong Jumori. Gupa Lina. Gumuko. Ilu Conference. To Asian Americans. Who are Asian American Studies Conference. Nyada San Jose. Gumuji Nung Asia. Gumuji nang shua nang nipong, which pa itamongli lenjigu, le malipo the kuya itamong, le halinaro gu, le hatia. Wow, kaya itamong dia. E oya kachi, oya kamwa le hatia. Oya ka cosmopolitan tamboli. Mong haiti what's hatia. Oya kachi safe tamboli. But yeah. So the opposite of cosmopolitan is it didn't say, right? That's what they were saying to me. Well, you got your Hmong, the Shikachi say, Boli Besa, the Hmong say. Gachi backwards. Gachi so uneducated, so unsophisticated. Dole Besa, the Hmong Mika, Jonglia. And it was in that moment, Lucy Handa, Gumanango, without the work go Joshon, who could or Lucia had there. We are eating Simon Mika. Gumwa ilunang se the sheep mong. I was going to do everything in my ability to elevate our people. Guyo ipocha yaku watao kap nang Asia nang Mika da le hai nang po hai te pe hai nang mong ya I hai nang mong e mong gi tia mo cha pang se tia that we also matter. And so it was through these experiences, that's where we can change lives. That's where we can interpret laws to make sure that our society imposes fairness and justice. But more than anything, bên chờ cả lửa hải năng sai bên muang lì cả bên muai lu shua cả bên muai itzaki don yan yang, and that's what the courts are. The courts are a place to impose nothing but justice and fairness. And so while I have the greatest respect for my friends and all these fantastic public leaders to my right and to my left, politicians. So please know that this is not a political event. I'm here to support. We do tell Hmong 100 tonight because, like you, I have a dream for our people. A dream where everyone can aspire to be the greatest version of themselves and to promote excellence. Big Hmong judges, big more allegiance to the Democratic Party. Big more allegiance to the Republicans. Our only allegiance is to the United States Constitution and to the Minnesota Constitution. And I want to make that very clear because with the judges, it's because we can't come out. We don't touch without the political events. Even though Susan is my dear friend, I can never come to her political events. Representative Goldie Vang Her is a dear friend I've known since college. We don't touch political events. So, and so with that, I want to leave with dream big, Boshua la la. That's why Hmong 100 exists. I am 53. I share that openly because I could not have imagined and to my left are these amazing leaders, and to my right are these amazing leaders as well. I could not have imagined that I would have this colleague, Judge Adam Ya, with colleague Judge Paul Ya, and now with colleague Judge Daya Nyaholu Ramsey County District Court. And so, if you feel a little jittery in your heart, it's a good thing, because that means that that means so I just want to leave you with that.
You sure you want to go last? Okay. Okay. Đó rằng ya chúng tôi cũng bên Hmong của chịu chạy nè, của cái lý do mà cũng chơi á, cái sự tại sao nó one night sản thì chịu rồi, thì cũng bên hồ chạy, bên hồ chịu chạy, của cái night sản nhau Second Judicial District Ramsey County, Minnesota mà nhau lúc làm Minnesota nó đúng một cầu Judicial District nè, thì Ramsey County thì vì the population wise thì Ramsey County thì Second Judicial District. Hennepin County, New County, a 4th Judicial District. the Tata Choi Yilu district, and more Tata 80 Yijuji, the counties, some Minnesota, and more fight the other 8 districts. Watch out, Hmong Committee of 100, here the sponsors, Stearns Bank and Hmong House, here Hmong Town, and the organizers. Thank you. Để cho nên cho lưu công trình là tôi cho bé tôi hay lưu tuần chỉ này. Và cái bé mình chỉ cho tụi king, qua hay lưu mình mong tạc mà hay lưu mình chỉ mình cảm gì. Và one day tôi nói với tụi nice son judge, tôi cứ lý cho lawyer tôi nên có xong. So 2018, apa ko gì mà kia campaign or to judge, apa ko cho cô mà bị judge tôi judge tao trong xem nữa. Để xong apa nên có bao nhiêu cụ thể thì judge thì họ ya ưu đã cả là kia đó, nhà sinh nhật lúc trong đấy mà chỉ một thứ sinh nhật lúc trong này, chỉ một thứ là shit từ kia đó lúc trong đấy, apa nên có bao nhiêu thì election year, đó là need to bảo campaign này, đó họ để chỉ một thứ là kia sinh nhật lúc trong. Judge Sophia Willow, your story is great. Let me see if I can beat that. I don't think I can beat that. When y'all put the it's in Japan, you do not. The Yoga High School, you can y'all to Kidu, Lamu, Wisconsin, right? Jamu, Wisconsin. Guess what? We your fireworks. Then when they look at that, then we your fireworks. The Wisconsin, Tonga, Minnesota, legend, stop more fireworks now. It's illegal. They could have go out to Gube, Yota. We crossed St. Croix River back to Minnesota. The minute we locked here today, we were stopped by police. And the reason is, there are 2 things in Wisconsin, in jail. You lock it today, St. Croix, Minnesota, it will day you. So we were stopped. There were more tickets, though we took for possession of fireworks. There's no name more possession of fireworks. It's not illegal, depending on what it is. Chỉ thằng đó lọ của thế bảo thì, you need to name so, you need to name the dark. You chỉ bảo lo tại tại, đôi有没有住? So how do you prevent that from happening? You ở nhà you thắp báo to you to king. You ở nhà you thắp báo to đại name. Become a lawyer, become a judge. This Sophia High, we are we're not any party, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're in the middle. So we are there to make sure you are there. If you do show up at court, if you need to pay, we are fair to you, we are respectful to you, and we make sure that you are treated fairly. As Judge Sophia Willow said, you don't see us too much out there in the public because what we say in the public matters. Bé hãy lo lù lo, ít tôi nên, you nên trở lại. Bé the guilty, thì trọng sự. Bé the chỉ cho sống, thì một chỉ cho sống sự. So we have to be careful about where we go. We have to be careful about the events that we go to. But the point of all this, with the the judge no who in short they go you need more to do tuần được cú cho cả một chạy ra những chỗ này một kiến ra những chỗ này còn chỉ sau một từ chu này vì thế chúng một bé nhau đã lấy chụp bỏ bé cho nên tới đa yêu hải tàuแต่สมมติเราอยู่บนยาชาติไปสมมติไปปล่อยตัว judges เนี่ยด่าไปจังสาเดแต่เราเนี่ย Minnesota เนี่ยจังยังไม่ judges ไปจังมอง judges จังชาติเนี่ย Hennepin County จุดมั่ว Anoka Washington County จังจุดมั่ว so we're trying to push ไปจังมอง apply to the counties outside of the St. Paul, Ramsey County. So why? Thế còn tên nó, giờ thì nên tuân chỉ bé, là bé chỉ nên là bé chủ thì bé judges will make sure that you treat it fairly, you respect it, and respect the name. So that's what we do. Pass on to you.
Ok, giờ giờ tao biết lo của chị li tao có thua chị chờ ca hay lo chỉ mang lại thì xem mà khi mình chỉ của dòng xe đó lúc nào cũng tôi bỏ lúc làm mình sau là giờ cái sai nó sẽ chữ tôi trong chap là cho tới chuẩn bị cả nó đó bé Wisconsin bé trong cái kia thì bé chỉ có đi tu stay và house nó là Madison đó thì của dòng xe cho bé Minnesota đó thì cũng xã hội tiền thằng tây nó bé Wisconsin bé giờ sau này tôi có nó sĩ công tây thiết của bé mua cho sai cho house representative nhau là Madison thiết thì giờ nên cũng dùng xe đó lúc committee chỉ ít buồn nữa nè thì lúc nào cũng sẽ thấy tôi thay bà của tôi cùng nó sức lúc khi mình chỉ của tôi khen thế ta của yêu kia thì của mong vui của lúc bé nè ta giờ chỉ tôi tìm mà hoa nọ tu sảnh vui nữa thì của lúc bé America hoa tham mà sảnh vui đâu vậy của giờ cho mong vui nhớ đồ sát tích chờ một nhà đó thì giờ trong của thế giờ và cài nữa thì giờ cũng ở tổ chính rằng thiết vậy thế này cũng chưa hử giờ của ít tôi nói thế như sợ chưa cả lúc bỏ coi sẽ không chưa vậy tôi nói giờ thế này cũng chưa hử nè vậy nên tôi nói thế mình nhau nói thế đấy cái ba giờ cũng hỏng đâu là không nói thế vậy cũng thà mình chỉ sao cũng khó background hay là của đó chi họ cũng xã hay thì phải xong ở chép lâu làm sao đó xong ở chép cổ bên để mà trong xã hội sẽ được không sầu những đạo ok thì của họ tập lâu thường đã thì của họ cổ xong đã tiếp thì họ cũng họ sẽ chỉ xét thì của họ kia họ sẽ được không sầu nữa mà của xã bố hay thì bây giờ share nó là cho property tax nó là bây giờ to một trong đã city là mỗi trăm mua trả ta là nó chỉ của xã bố cho nó là chỉ của bài đó là shit từ họ sẽ được không sầu chỉ là họ sai cụ thiết thì của tàu cổ xong sự được có số lượng cái bao thì dễ biết cháu xe nữa biết số tàu ta lấy cho mua đó chỉ ta nó chỉ mà cởi cho nó ta lo nó chỉ của thiên mạng là một siêu biết cháu xe biết số tàu lấy cho một thầy đó cho tầm luôn nữa thầy đó cho chỉ cần đó cho này khui ra thì lấy thầy đó cho một kế rồi biết rõ thế nữa ta thì cho nói cho xe họ xử lý nó chỉ không nhiều thì giờ lên đó chỉ bây giờ city council sẽ được city council chỉ sẽ được thiết thiết cho họ xử lý đó nữa thì tạm đó là một chỉ xong ở xếp lâu ở trên này ngộp lâu làm cho đó ở trên này ngộp trâu nó chỉ cũng mà họ làm một kia với thuộc county board commissioner chỉ cũng nhiều họ trâu sái thầu lúc lâu liền tu xong ở trên này ngộp lâu nó chỉ tất cả cũng ở xong trên lợi giờ cũng nhiều khó đã làm được shit từ giờ cũng nhiều khó cho sải thở lúc lâu liền tôi hoàn thiện chi nó xong ớt xiên nên ngộp lâu nó giờ tôi cho xong ớt xiên nên ngộp xa thì mà ta giờ lên đó họ khảo lý giờ biết chữ như tôi đâu chắc rồi giờ họ Human Service Department nữa giờ họ cho họ là giờ bây giờ tôi là cho supervisor mà lấy tôi là siêu hệ tiệm giờ như tôi mất file rồi thì là lúc cùng họ nữa thì cả là một sợi rồi cho nên nhớ họอยู่dễอยู่rõ cho khó hay tiệt và cho supervisor mà là cứ thế này giờ là một họ luyện đâu thế gì là cho sửa cho nhớ cỏ và chỉ cho một file rồi cho cùng họ thì là một họ luyện được sự gì mà cho city council cho county board là thì là một trái làm plan cho họ county thì có lý do đâu luyện xong là gì mà bây giờ họ luyện thì rồi sửa cho nhớ chia cho thì là cùng họ sức thì thuộc cũng nhớ cho họ về bé rõ mà mê hả bé mua ốp hà ốp不听讲bé mua li ốp不gì chồng chi phá tụi này chưa nhớ bé rõ thì sẽ bé mua này của cho tụ county board commissioner đó giờ lên tới thì cũng khó chỉ nhớ được khó district cổ xa mà chỉ ở chỉ thọ bé sải tàu luôn là chỉ bé làm một chùa thì chỉ một câu phái được biết chơi lúc comedy nó chỉ sau đó cho bé cho con niệm có chỉ là một câu phái được lúc comedy và hiện mình service department kia lúc housing kia lúc chỉ western daily lane á chỉ lúc đó giờ chùa rồi cho chơi cần đó tê cổ hồng mê quá nè chỉ là là một phái đó bé lúc nó còn khi cho họ lựa nó thì bên mua phai họ lựa đi nó chỉ cũng khi mình chỉ hay tiếc tận thế nó này choเขานี่ป่วยquá chi à lúcเขาตีแล้วlúcเขานี่นะมาnhiều khi họ lựa chọn thì sẽ bịว่ามันchỉ trong tí giả xưa vậy bây giờ xưa hay tiếc vậy giờ nhiều chỉ cho thì bây giờ tao sau sinh gì thế thì sau sinh nó mà bây giờ tôi chùa thì xem là làm mấy cái sản xuất lại có thể tàu xe theo giờ giờ không nên bảo lấy chủ làm một sĩ giá tàu tàu mà lấy mà lấy làm một chùa xe bỏ vào chỉ và sống qua giờ sau xe này làm mấy cái sản xuất theo là giờ nó giờ chỉ giờ sẽ được không nên bảo giờ không lười theo là chỉ cũng xem gì nó cho biết sao được và nên chỉ bảo nữa giờ thì nên chỉ bảo hay giờ sau xe muốn một thứ ta lại là chỉ muốn dùng đã sẽ đi nữa giờ city council giờ giờ ô không lựa cho họ cho nên nữa giờ nó giờ xe nó sau ta chỉ bảo thì là cho một sĩ làm nó đã city đã city hall giờ là kia rồi này thì nó giờ nhiên nó sau ta giờ cho một thể đó chỉ ta là nó chỉ không nói giờ khó giờ bị sành nữa xã cỏ vào lấy giờ city council mà lấy mua public hearing nó cho cái cháu này tôm lòng nữa chỉ nó giờ chủ cho nó giờ khá phải tôm hai đô lớn cả ta thổ lơ vô pha rồi mà nó hay chỉ lấy nữa lơ vô pha rồi thì tàn đó thì là quan trai sĩ mù xí nữa thì chỉ trâu xía thì ít tuần xí để không soi cho chủ đã là một vì các làm recall được khó tới nữa mà đã là hay đua nó mà thi ly hay thì thổ lơ vô pha rồi thì ta rồi đó quan trai nó sẽ là sĩ xí nó chỉ khiêm gì đó bé sẽ đời đi nó cả sẽ đời học báo thiết cũng thảm mình chỉ đi nó xứ và trong xe nữa cũng nhớ Wisconsin thì xí mà và cho đó đi lo vẹn thế và tổng cung cái họ chờ của tôi thế của tôi chi biết giờ tôi cho cái chống bị nó giờ cho của bảo tôi để chống xài giờ cho một cái sự chấp lời rồi nữa nhớ là họ nó bây giờ có mua li bé auto bé tụi nó giờ chỉ năng sẽ đồ li tí cho xài sức còn đây là bây giờ chỉ năng những cái xí rồi mình đi theo thì giờ cá là cũng có nhiều giờ tụi ta thay đổi này cái để nhiều sợi cả lớp bỏ có xe cái nhiều sợi này để nói cũng có nhiều thì nếu mà hay là một cái city council nén xỉ ư giờ đừng tụt phao thế giờ lâu nữa thì city council nén xỉ thế giờ nó thế thì tôi nói thì tôi cộng này trong xe này tôi bỏ đi sau đó thì cũng thả mình chỉ đi nó giờ đây không có đất chi nó là họ nông cho nó cho bây giờ cho nó chữ mông bị nó là cho chống bị nó giờ nó chữ mông nó chia nó chữ bị cả nó chia nó chữ mông nữa cho nó giờ bị sần sái nữa thì nó giờ nó chữ bị cả thì qua châu nữa
我就要他係在做嘢種子、種碰種葉、種舉種地、種你種渣，แล้วมันต่างกัน就ไอ้種將來就話ที่จะ冇得明白。但是我哋嗰邊啊，我話 with the brothers and sisters who are elected officials，到中央嗰邊啊，又俾上波嚟睇，到嚟初嚟做人 ，they are history and making。即係咧咯，呢個禮拜係他係我做聽，他我拿ถือ做比較 non-profit leaders，比較professionals，比較呢個字，有工作者，有 business owners，我中途多做咗這種可能。But I also want to acknowledge the Hmong committee of 100 for doing something that's completely different and new and needed in our community. So ทั้ง我被Hmong committee of 100呢。กูรู้เป็นยี่หลิงที่ยังตัวสิงห์ Wisconsin นะจะเป็นมั่วรู้ ability to hold more than one positions so กูยังตัว county board supervisor ตัว school board member and at one time กูยังตัว village trustee อย่างก็you know and I have to say Judge Sophia your story Judge Ponica's story are remarkable there's no words in English or Hmong I can use to describe how emotional I felt listening to you two so I want to thank you two for your stories as well It's another great reminder of how far we've come and how far Bill Hmong community has progressed in the last 50 years. We have progressed more in the last 50 years than we have in the last 500, and I am so proud of the accomplishments that we have done. Now, but Thomas had debate, listening Wisconsin, we almost had a Hmong elected official. I ran for that office and we lost by less than 2% from in that race there. But when they're successful, Bill Hmong community should know the Gushana. If I can raise $200,000, they would pour $1.7 million to help us. Many of them didn't expect us to do that. Our Hmong community helped me raise $300,000, and with that, the community at large poured another $1.7 million into our campaign, and that was the most raised in any Wisconsin Assembly candidate campaign in history. So this is because of Bill Hmong community, the strength of our Hmong community, and that's one thing that the Bill Hmong community is the fact that so as a priorities, I'm very fortunate that although I didn't win the assembly race, I've been served on all position as a Marathon County Board Supervisor and as a DC Area School Board. I stepped off as Vice President, but I still serve on the DC Area School Board. On the DC Area School Board, I am the delegate in the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, where we advocated for proper education funding, advocated for educational tools, and because of the organizations, WASB, partners in the community, we were able to advocate and lobby the state legislator to pass Assembly Bill 232, which required school districts in the state of Wisconsin to teach about Hmong and Asian American contribution and history in the state of Wisconsin. In addition, being involved in the district. So one of the things that our school board is focused on is finding resources for mental health resources, funding for mental health resources. We work to ensure that there's to ensure that there's high academic achievement, and also work to ensure that we are doing everything we can to support students with disability. We have been able to do this at the same time delivering a $2 million tax cut to our constituents as well in the DC Area School District. Now on the county board, I've been very fortunate to serve as the vice chair of the Public Safety Committee, and I serve as the chair of the Transportation Coordinating Committee, and also the chair of the Social Services Board. And through those efforts, we are tackling issues such as the housing crisis, the homeless crisis, tackling the child care crisis, working to ensure that our public safety providers have the resources they need, ensure that there is DEI and also cultural competency training in those in those departments, and we work to ensure that there is no new increases in taxes while ensuring that we have the highest quality possible. Those are some of the priorities that our board has focused on this year here, making sure that we are delivering the highest quality services, but ensuring that there is no increases in taxes for our constituents, because we know that our communities, our middle class folks are struggling, but we also want to make sure that everyone is being taken care of. And that's one thing that I've been very proud of the achievements of our county and our school district. So now, I just want to say there's a lot more that needs to be done, and a lot of what our brothers and sisters let the highlight. We cannot do this. So I encourage each and every single one of you, do everything you can here to support your elected officials, so that it is very tiring at times when you're fighting for them and you see nobody there to support you. And I think it's always good to see whether if you have time or not, just drop by their board meetings, their village meetings, their council meetings, and show your support for them, because they need you as well. We can only survive if we all work together. Thank you very much.
Patient day now, okay? Talk about John McCoon's pay la patient day na. Ethan Charge and he's going to be the last elected official, who will be speaking. cô giờ là mùa thả mình chỉ so community needs tên là ta tên là chỉเป็น một question answer สิเป็นแล้วเลยnên đấy nè chỉ cho trong bé của tôi chỉ nào tên là sẽ chỉ xuyên đấy tên là you know we are gonna be ended you know at 9:30 thì xuyên đấyวันเลยนะเลยประตูเป็นตัวที่หายเลยtên là bé ban nói chỉ cô giờ thì the first time họ thì you know bé community tàu tu ok tên là theo bé cho elected officialแล้วhọ chỉ là siêu tôm cùng nó bé tên là thì bé ở nhớ có cho chung khứ tên là này để yêu xuyên đấy mình chỉ tên là
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for all your stories. And, you know, I'm honored to share the same space with all of you. Nhớ rằng nên chúng ta tự được nói we are representative Ethan Cha, we are to share with the block of Hambi. We are the state representative. Chỉ ta là we are to have the chair to make a nói chứ mong nhớ to be state capital để mua bigตัวlần. Nó là ở bên tôi chỉ có công việc thì chỉ we are hai mình chỉ cho liệt thì Google members, not to be state legislator. They're not, they want Senator Pop with Representative Liz Lee and Representative Goldie Hud that she Representative Sam Bang, not Brooklyn. We had to chair, not to Shah had the previously agriculture that she Hyung we had to chair, not to Pot Legacy. Lot of the Representative Jay Hyung, not to Shah East St. Paul, okay. We have been to previous chair in workforce development. She we have to chair not the veterans, okay. Then lot the Representative Fu Lee. We have been to chair Metro Minneapolis. She chair of capital investment and infrastructure bonding. So I thought the Gailufai take it to a chair to the state of Minnesota. It's more food. How signature gay. Which more project infrastructure not to the state of Minnesota, okay. Chitarin there. Senator we have Vice Chair of Climate and Energy for the state of Minnesota, and then Senator Hug, we have the Chair of Legacy and Environment. And I want to emphasize that the chair now yachi chẳng to pay mong yada ga. Vì at the pay more good to mong yada pay chi down the she pay good to mong ya chair the vice chair. Hana usaka ne jong shena, okay? Vì hiện tại nhớ được bài chế đó nếu muốn nâng cổ trâu lúc trong xin thì she name nhớ được shah house bé trâu nâng dầu trâu the 26th chair for the state of Minnesota. Thảm mình chỉ sau cũng có house member thì she cũng đã là hai trâu cũng tụi keng cũng lúc bé mong nhà phòng cũng chỉ là cứ cha cũng nè giờ mọi ya cũng yêu nhớ trâu thắt tê nào. I don't know what a child, what child don't they do? What child don't get see, get to that heart, it's like from a ball, it's told to do, got big girl had the door on side of the don't think chemical. Betty Dolun and Jean, Betty Dol Jambo Shua. And no, how to share, yet the girl had the sacrificed the most are not with us today. And we, the children of those that sacrificed the most, get those Jambo Shua, a lot of George Bay. Khó năng cho kế quan trâu tôi nên chúng tôi tụi cái này cái gì tôi tuổi trẻ nó thế cái nhau tuổi trẻ nàoวันนี้sao trâu Việt thì bây cái miệng mong cái anh xài thế cái tú rồi thì lúc trong nọ em muốn cho mong rong thế lúc nâng rong thế lúc trong đầu rồi muốn không cái nào giờ vì nên cái này cái gì cho bây tôi tới cái vật mang em bâyวันนี้sao trâu bây giờ mỗi gia đình hàng cúi chỉ thành đấy thì chỉ cúi ra ya thì cúi ya tụi mình mong tôi bông tôi hạt thì Saint Paul thôi ít cái bồi giáo nữa bây giờ tôi bị hạt thì Delta University ở Google lúc check cái Webster Magnet thôi bây giờ nó cái bây mongจะ chọn nhảy đi bắt ta tụi cái hạt thì bây tôi nó bây chỉ muốn tự hiểu mỗi ít là nhảy nhảy trong hạt đi bia ok bây giờ cái mong ya Frogtown thôi ít cái bồi giáo nữa bây giờ bây giờ cái chế luận nó bây giờ chuyển giao hạt thì thầu bây giờ cái chế luận nó khi đưa rồi đó bây giờ là ở bên phía đó bây thì xin mua thế hạt thì muốn chạm là cái hoạt động của sao thì này cái gì hết chuyển giao lúc xin hạt đấy à thầu lúc xin hạt đó bây giờ chọn nhẹ hơn gạo đi cú giờ thì mình mong nhớ cho Frogtown thế cũng là nhớ cho cái Capitol Heights để lúc chế đó every 4th of July là tôi có hạt thì fireworks bây giờ hậu bây giờ bây cái mình mong bông rong nè bên một sĩ bên铁路乘坐铁路站到大家都給了解釋，可能係比較咩忙，人家成跑邊個種 usa the name John Young, Bay Bong Jong, Bin Tilo Jenda, Betilan Tieto, Bay Balu Jay. Luce Dona, Unjia Jong, the Lokyo Dolishon. Sati to do big and got the hole. Sati to do big at the lot chew dog, you don't, or chew dog get guy or come, they kill, you they kill. Get get see, better again child, you have a bit more they kill. But you're in there. How do they look at kill, venture, you take care of your other now. You have to stay in Minnesota, you take care of your art, they shade, they will not want you. Quand on上报说弄了就是也别问你是照，他们去找古早好嘞，这古早是别叫他的 senator， 他叫 representative 别知道，别澳洲好嘞，澳洲政经就别叫他其实还可能呢，也得别 budget the state， 有热钱就别知道，才到的单套个谁呢？提到 state Minnesota， 别要叫哪去，我给你那个了 fire appropriate 到他的 state Minnesota 了。Take nigga services that don't get believe gonna coup here chicken though they can't get a fight. They fight don't get district, they get city. Number 8 Baya got there. Try to get budget for state of Minnesota. Each of knock a budget for state of Minnesota, you don't get $1 billion. You're not getting it set. Pay your state representative, pay your Senate members, pay Shahua, donate. How do the Abe or Yarachi? We are the lawmakers. We are the ones that draft legislation to become law, to be enacted for the state of Minnesota. The community. And an amount of $26.7 million came back to the Hmong community because of your Hmong state legislator. Okay. HAP has received money from the state of Minnesota. You know, the SGU, Hmong United, the University of Minnesota, and the Chambers of Commerce have received millions of dollars appropriate by the state of Minnesota. Possible because of Nick Hmong legislature, Nyoto Bay State Capital. No, kutua lama ya hatia vì mỗi cái năng chuẩn chứng bỏ hatia lúc xưa họ nói lúc xưa chuẩn chứng cho biết chuan số tu. When the chair Wayne asked me to come speak a little bit about the big hatia community engagement hatia and this is my answer, Wayne. Why do God the we hay can be nhất rồi này tới nó ya. We saw it in cũng long share lại từ Marcus Yang, Dr. Lucky Yang, attorney Anavon Xiongla, is that how I say it? I'm sorry. Chu Vu Du Xiong Zhe Fa Norm Vu, Du Fa, Kenry Vang, Paul Lee Vang, Jaguva, Showing Ya, Mo Chang, Hua Vu, John B. Yang, Josie Va, Gu Xiong, Michael Zhe Ta, Li Ba Xiong, He Wayne Tao. These are important people. Get none of the committee 100 Changgang, who had to name Changgang Media. We had to get holy not pay got elected to be what you thought. You should more get basin and more leadership, Lee Wayne, the committee 100. La Tante Luther, Gosong, I bet he thought that she was Talu Tilitao. Makanopusaka, they don't know as possible is because of the leadership of the committee of 100. So when I asked with how can we continue or how can we better the engagement of community? Who said they need to do Taiwan Day? And no more bait nay, young Jona, Tapet, and then to the outside the big holy. Yavi then, hard roll, the need not Taiwan Day again. No, who had to got there. You've already taken the first and most important step for us to bridge that community. So, Usawa Chapone, you know, Kutai from a man attorney had the Bemon Junkin Morigavi, the Bemo Ipo part of Monato, the state of Minnesota. Xiong no na, bây giờ ilu trong, cầu chi lu xóa xem, cầu chi lu xóa bom bả, bây giờ tôi lu trong nọ chữ nhất trong Shako P, the State House of Representatives, cầu chi lu xóa, usa de Nepal cầu chi tu Hmong nhất trong Shako P, I believe so, you know, nhất trong Saint Cloud, bây giờ lu trong đó bởi ít bộ thế kiểu lu xóa xem, okay, họ hiểu ya ta lo bây sai cha, bây giờ lu trong kêu lu xóa xem. We lost a seat by 9 votes. Okay? In many of the districts in the state of Minnesota, they more Hmong to e to chi pa to Hmong a bottle bomb short to big elected official. They chen gen mo ga, they more go chi to na sha go pi, they long to lu zhong na. They more e bo kyo kyo e lu shuo, they long to lu zhong. Nya to be like elmo, e bo go e lu shuo sa. This is the power. Power, build community. V. Be to tape. To shalana chunkin boligaga. Be tata the chunkin bolida. Be gonna junior to benana in a pojo to bushasi. Be a Democrat. Be chijai. Okay. We are Democrat. We are blue. We're DFL. Endorse. We are Democrats in the state of Minnesota, and those are our foundation. And go pay power na how long na hadia. Ganyan na go $2.7 million na little moto ne, little moto build community. It is the Democratic legislator who fought for these dollars to come back into our community. Kana ka ko usaka pe ta tao hadia. Ne luja ne pa pa tsabe. Not the last year. For the last 50 years that we have had every person in every position in the state and across the nation, it is because of your dollars that allow us to continue to progress, to be here today, to represent you, to give something back. A collective power of the Hmong community. Moving forward, will be another election year. And what does it mean to have the majority in the House and the majority in the Senate in the state of Minnesota? It means that in the majority, the gavel. Chair because the gavel. Community. Chair of bigger community committees. Why it's so important to vote, why it's important to make sure that we hold or maintain a majority in the House and the Senate in the state. That's why it matters, right? We are to the suburb in the state of Minnesota, the young state race. Woodbury, most of our electeds are in BIPOC or in areas where it's in the metro. We are to the suburb. And I've seen changes. How does things change? Woodbury, every weekend, Virginia, that happens, right? Well, guess what? It's not happening now. And it's not going to happen because State Representative Ethan Child lives in Woodbury, and I'm not going to let that happen, right? So these are the things that are important, why it's important to continue to push forward. And this is why, Wayne, the work that you and your committee does and continues to do is going to be so important in this path moving forward as a community. There is so much to talk about, but we have been made about the Shiha Jindao, the Shika, ne Bauna Hadia, ne ya make a basin, to Dune Sadabita, ne Mosi, to Dabita. Okay? You have that right. You have the right to approach your legislator and talk to us and ask, ne Morachi, ne Yoshia, Toshia, Bay Yaga had the Ola Dune. Big Kapil Hotong Done, Toronto to get basin, to Dabita. That is how we draft legislation. That is how we improve our community. I may have missed some stuff, and I won't get into it, but I just want to yield the mic to Representative Liz, because Liz, Senator Pa, carried a very important legislation for us last year. That appropriate money in the Legacy Committee to over $500,000 to honor and celebrate Southeast Asian in the state of Minnesota for the 50th anniversary. So I'm going to yield the mic over to Liz a little bit, and also to, no? Okay, so just to represent Liz to talk about that, because we need you to understand what is coming forth this year, 2025. Right? Thank you.
Okay, apologies, but in the House we have a rule you can speak on a subject up to 2 times. So I am taking my second time, and I will speak in English this time, which will hopefully help me express my ideas a little better, because bây giờ nhiều mong tôi nhớ tới khi mình gana so cô hai luôn mong chỉ cho mình để ta nói hai luôn mình gà cái shading cái shop but trong gì the high and jilu but the big high. So Ethan's asked me to talk about our 50th anniversary commemoration bill. We, because of the work of Chair Feng He, who is not here, and also the work of our incoming chair, Samantha Vang, and a lot of the members on our legacy committee, we were able to secure $400,000 to give to community organizations to commemorate 50 years of Hmong folks being in Minnesota. And so Hmong Museum and Transforming Generations and other folks, did really well in the grants process, and we anticipate that they will be receiving these funds, but there has not been an official announcement yet, so stay tuned. So that's, I hope, we'll answer that question. I think we have a Q&A session afterwards, so I'm happy to chat about that, or you can always reach out. I always put that in my newsletter. And then also just because I have the mic again, and this has been brought up numerous times from our city and our county folks about taxes. I've been doing tax policy for the last 10 years, so I want to explain a little bit that you probably know you pay your federal taxes, your state, and your local taxes. And so what I was trying to get at earlier in Hmong was, it is, I guess, superficial or incorrect to say, if you don't pay a lot of state taxes, then you don't have a tax liability. Because what usually happens is if the state government does not give aid to your city or your county, and these folks know there's something called LGA, which is local government aid, and CPA, which is county program aid. The state collects your income taxes, and they give this to every county, and most of all the cities and townships in Minnesota. And so this is really important, because that means that when we have that money at the state level, the state legislators here, we decide where that goes and how much of that money goes out so that your property taxes don't increase. That's really important to understand, because you want people at the state legislature who will relieve the pressures of your local electeds to increase your property taxes. And that's what I was getting at when I say it's actually really important to understand that your local taxes is actually also really much determined by your state electeds. And so I just want to make that connection, because we have so many local partners here, and so we work all the time to make sure that we pay for our firefighters, we pay their pensions, and we pay for human services and all the things that we ask counties to do, which is really important and which a lot of our communities have relied on. I have expired my time, and so I'm going to give this back to
cho tí cũng ít bao lần gì cũng sáng gì cho họ bây mua cho ở bên từ tương sẽ thành chế ở họ cho họ bên không cần ở tôi nói thế thì cũng sáng khe để cho nên bao thế nào vì họ mua lời sẽ đợi gì bên thứ điều tôi bây giờ trên người cho họ bên không cần nó nên họ cho xài bé mà bên mua bây giờ trong xe hiện tại bây họ chú tàu cho tương xài và nhớ cho họ bên mong mà cái nó là ở họ cho bé thế bây giờ để họ bỏ lời nhớ sang cho lo thật tới trong lo thì ý mình cho lời thải thì nên mua cái thứ sinh nó chỉ lo sạch lo chỉ sạch cái bắt chỉ thế nào thì thằng ấy sẽ cho ở họ cho họ cho bây giờ offices na so the good office chỉ mua employee rồi cái sẽ employee có từ legislative aid để cho nó đi tới.
And then many of you guys have already met, but go through legislative assistant Panya Vaz. Thank you for coming with us today.
And at the House, we don't get to choose our legislative aid, so we don't have any yet.
But I do want to also say, though, because we have Hmong electeds, we've been able to hire a lot of Hmong women and men to work in the legislature, and that's a really important pipeline. As you may know, like I worked in Congress for 10 years, and so like that builds that institutional knowledge. And so, oh, and Mike Howe is here somewhere. Yes. So Mike Howe is the aide for Senator Fong He. He's not here, so we're going to introduce her too. But I also want to emphasize that this is a really important knowledge.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ